guys, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Yellow Tape. Thanks for joining us here another week. My name is Julian. This is Nitty, and we are always appreciative of you guys being back and joining us here for another week, another talk of forensics. And first off, I want to give a shout out to the winners of our little contest, our giveaway last time, Pratik and Tyro. So we'll contact you guys. And we'll let you guys know, give us your information, and we let you guys know what you won, what you got in store. So keep your eyes open. And everyone else, you know, when the next time we do that, these questions will be getting harder. So pay attention and you get to win some, you know, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So what we want to talk to you guys today about is forensic toxicology. And if you don't know what that is, or if you don't know what they do, forensic toxicologists, they perform scientific tests on bodily fluids and tissues to identify any drugs, poisons, or any other harmful contaminants that might be in the organs, blood, again, body tissue, body fluids, inside the body pretty much. And they perform these tests on specimens collected from the pathologist, which would be the doctor who does the autopsies, or just directly may have been collected from crime scenes. So, well, let's start from the top. With that being said, what is a drug? A drug is a chemical or a chemical mixture that has a designated effect to alter your physical or psychological or physiological state. And you know, it depends on the user how it might affect one. And yeah, it just depends on the user how it affects, because we know everything affects everyone very differently. And the difference between a drug and a poison would be that a poison innately has a life-threatening effect on the user, as a drug may not have life-threatening effects on the user. With that being said, any drug and anything can be a poison in excess amounts to the body. So even types of food, types of drinks, anything can be considered a poison in excess in the body, with that being said. So from there, I will let Nidhi, you know, take us home.
That's exactly correct. So if you have anything in excess, like he mentioned, could be poisonous to the body. And just a little bit more into the forensic toxicology. So it's basically divided into three major divisions. The first one being post-mortem forensic toxicology. So after the person has passed away, the pathologist would collect the samples from the dead body and perform the analysis of knowing as to what drug effect, because of what drug effect the person passed away, or what drug interactions went body leading to a person's death. There's also humans performance toxicology, which is the second division of tox. And the final is the forensic drug testing. So that's why he mentioned a lot. He gave you guys an idea about what a drug is. But now what happens is when a person consumes the drug and the drug goes into your body breaks that drug apart. So the breaking of the drug is nothing but a drug metabolite. So the drug is broken down into its constituents, and that breaking down basically of the drug is a drug metabolite. So you can identify the parent drug from its drug metabolite as to how the drug was broken down by the body. So the most common example would be if you take in nicotine, which is the parent drug, the metabolite of nicotine is cotinine. Like if you take marijuana.
Nicotine from cigarettes, right?
Yes, nicotine from cigarettes, yes. And then the other most common, if you have, which could be marijuana, then the most active ingredient, the active substance in marijuana is THC. So there are many various techniques that they use, which is mass spec or other analytical techniques for identification of the drugs, but we won't get much into that. So now when I talk about breaking down of the drug in your body, it's a whole different topic. And breaking down is nothing in your body is done by nothing else. It's done by the process called pharmacokinetics. So pharmacokinetics is nothing but, like, pharmaco is drugs and kinetics is nothing but the movement. So the movement of the drug literally in your body. So consumption of the drug, when a person takes the drug, how it is absorbed in your body. So like different tissues absorb the drug differently in your body. That absorption also depends on the type of administration. If it was intravenous, it was inhaled, it was swallowed. So depending on how the drug was administered, it is distributed in your body. After it is distributed, it is absorbed in your body. And then it retains in your body for how much span of time. So that's where the retention, when people say that, oh, if you take this drug, it stays in your body for like a few months, a few days.
Right.
So that's what the retention that they talk about. So certain, like different drugs have different time when it shows the peak concentration and has the maximum retention. So blood takes about it. If any, usually some drug stays in the blood for about a couple of days to few weeks. Hair, the drug stays for the longest span of time for a few weeks to few months. Then sweat depends on a few hours to a few weeks. So depending on the body fluid being collected or the part or the different things that are being tested, kind of helps us with understanding the retention. After it is retained in your body, then the drug obviously is excreted from your body. So then you don't have that drug or the drug metabolite in your body anymore. So that's what pharmacokinetics is all about. It's nothing but the absorption, distribution of the drug in your body, the metabolism, how the drug metabolizes in your body, and then finally it is excreted out of your system. So that's, in very simple terms, drug pharmacokinetics. Also, there is pharmacodynamics, which I won't get to. So it's all you.
So one thing about toxicology is there's so much nomenclature to know, like you really have to know what all these words mean to even understand the topics off rip. So the way Nidhi, you just talked about pharmacokinetics and how that's the drug moving. Pharmacodynamics is about how the drugs behave and what they do when they're in the body. So starting off, the first term I would introduce to everyone would be receptors. The receptor in certain organs, there are cells that have these active sites that the drug can attach themselves to, and it's on every cell there are different receptors for different drugs. Like the nicotine receptor will not be the same receptor as for marijuana. Does that make sense? I hope so. And then so some drugs are agonists and some drugs are antagonists. So an agonist is a drug that attaches itself to a receptor and causes that cell to do its intended function. Like if someone may be a diabetic, they're not, they have a problem in which they cannot produce their own insulin. So you can take a specific drug, that drug will attach itself to that cell's receptor, maybe on the kidney, I believe, and it would tell that cell to begin producing insulin, which is that cell's, that cell was already made to produce insulin, but whatever went wrong in that person's lifetime, that cell does no longer do that. So now you take this drug is forcing that cell to do its intended function. Okay, and then opposite of the agonist, you have antagonists, and the antagonists are just the opposite of those. They will cause the cell to do either stop its intended function or reverse its intended function. Like some people who are maybe like schizophrenic or manic or bipolar, Sometimes they have very high levels of dopamine, which is that like happy feeling, which causes that happy feeling. If you have a lot of dopamine in your level, that feeling of like, what's the word they might use, like of progress being made or something accomplished, you get levels of dopamine being released. And maybe in someone with those conditions, they have really high levels. So you might take a drug to calm those levels down, to stop producing them, or just to reverse the process altogether. So those are some things that definitely, and this tolerance. So you hear people all the time talk about someone has a high tolerance. What that really means is that through repeated use of this drug or whatever, you cause a decrease or a sensitivity to those receptors on that cell. So to have that same level of, I don't know, to have the same level of dopamine release that you might take a drug for, if you keep taking that drug, like maybe heroin, to have the same feeling that you had the first time you took heroin, after a year of it, you would have to take more because you kind of shut down some of the receptors on the cell, or you desensitize them. So now they don't work to their original capacity, causing you to have to take more of that drug just to get that same feeling that you may have once had. So that is what you hear when someone has a higher tolerance. It's mainly used for liquor. I don't know why I use such a serious drug like heroin. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, so people who have a higher tolerance of alcohol, they would have to drink more to get drunk. As if me, a lightweight, a little shandy is going to throw me off the wall. So, there you go.
Yeah, so you're basically developing resistance for that amount of dosage that you regularly take in, right?
Right.
So
exactly.
it's not only in alcohols that happens. Say, for example, if you take like any medication, initially they would prescribe you like 500 milligrams, and then you keep taking that medication, and then your body kind of builds a resistance towards it. So now that 500 milligram doesn't have any effect. So if you take a paracetamol and you keep taking that, I'm just giving an example.
Right.
And then that 500 milligram is like, your body's like, now 500 milligram, I'm not going to do anything. You've given me enough. And then you have to increase the dosage. So that's the tolerance Julian is talking about that.
Right, just to get that same original feeling. You wouldn't even get like a boosted one. You'd get that same level 5 feeling of whatever, but you just have to take more to get there because you've kind of shut off some of the receptors that respond to that level of alcohol.
Right. So yeah, so basically what happens when the forensic toxicologists are studying, they kind of try to figure out what different drugs you have in your system. When I say system, is in your body. Because it's possible that even if you're prescribed certain drugs, which could be psychoactive drugs for your health benefits, that could have a drug interaction with other normal drugs that you usually take for pain or for diabetes or any other thing. So like when a doctor usually prescribes you medications, they have to make sure that they don't give you medications which have kind of an alterating effect, causing damages to your body.
Isn't that called, like, I don't know if this is the right word, if I'm remembering right, but it was like synergism or something like that. I could be wrong, like synergy, finding, I guess, we'll just call it this for now, but like having like a drug cocktail in you, you can't have this kind of drug with, that kind of drug. So, things have to be in the right amounts, in the right order. You can't have some antagonist for one thing and then an agonist for another thing. So I think it's called synergism, just getting a balance of things that don't counteract each other, I believe.
Right, absolutely. And all this is very important to keep in mind when you, as an individual, are taking drugs. You have to talk to your doctor and make sure that they are fine. So which is not what a forensic toxicologist does. Like, that's not the job. They just figure out what drugs you have in the system. So that's why the reason why we got into a lot of dynamics and kinetics is because if they discovered a body or like a person, a live person after a longer span of time, and they want to do drug testing, they know that different metabolites have a certain amount of time that they stay in your body. So what kind of sample should they collect for testing? Like, should they take the hair because the drugs stay longer in your hair, or should you take urine or blood, depending. So all of that also falls under the umbrella of the sample collection umbrella as to what kind of sample should be collected for what kind of drug testing and all of that. Right. And also, like nowadays, there are so many different kind of tweaks that this is a very simple language, like tweaks that they make in the molecular formula of the drug, like all the synthetic drugs that are out there in the market. Like for a forensic toxicologist to kind of narrow it down as to this is the parent drug that we are talking about is also getting difficult as the synthetic market of the drugs is increasing. Also proper training, education, I'm sure we'll all get there.
Yeah, I feel like toxicology is definitely a common field people are interested in.
Right.
But I feel like I just learned that when people get into car accidents, I believe it, and if they have to go to the hospital, they always draw blood just to see
blood alcohol
how much alcohol. Right. But you know, definitely on a deep dive for toxicology, I want to talk to people about how blood alcohol content is measured, because you know it could be hours pass, you know, minutes pass, but they still get that right interval of alcohol in the blood. So I definitely want to talk about that. Talk about why there isn't an equivalent test like that for marijuana. Like you can't kind of pull someone over and have them blow into a tube and then have them, you know, say you were smoking an eighth. That, you know, that won't work.
Right.
That won't work. So we can talk about why is that an issue.
Right, exactly. So that's how the drug being broken down in your body. Like not all drugs can. So when they do blood alcohol level testing, they're basically taking, like you have to blow and like it's your air coming out of your mouth, right? So that's basically excretion way of you trying to know the drug in your system. But that doesn't fall the same way for marijuana or cocaine or XYZ other drugs. So even like the excretion of different drugs is different in your body. That's how.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, it's body itself is a like difficult concept to understand, and then the drugs acting in your body, breaking down in your body gets more complicated.
Right. Toxicology is definitely something that escapes me sometimes. I feel like I know the basics, but in terms of getting into a deep dive, I'm definitely not the guy. Like it's so complex to me, honestly. Like it's crazy.
It is, and that's why we are not getting much into it, because we both are not in the field of forensic toxicology. Like I work for DNA, and what do you work to? What do you do, Julia?
I do crime, man. I'm a criminalist.
So not even close to tox.
Not at all.
But we just want to give a brief idea to our audience as to what the forensic umbrella of tox, like what things fall under forensic tox and what a forensic toxicologist does, basically. Exactly. So it is complicated. It's a very difficult concept to understand. There are many schools out there which has just concentrations of forensic toxicology. So it's a beautiful field, and don't think that it's very difficult to grasp. It's just we didn't choose those fields for our careers, but of course, a lot of people do that. So we chose different realms in forensic.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Very true. But there's a lot. There's like a lot of info that we definitely want to have future episodes about, and you know, just kind of get into the meat of forensic toxicology. And once you learn about forensic toxicology, like you can't help but learn about how your body works, because half of the subject matter is telling you how your body works and how it behaves under certain instances with certain things in it, or how it should behave.
Yeah, exactly. And also another thing that when we do a future episodes on forensic tox, as we know that we're not the experts because I'm still studying and he's working, we'll get guests who know more about the field. So I'm sure that if you guys have any questions about forensic tox, or you guys need to, if anyone out there needs to know more about a certain topic in talks, just let us know. We could find someone, an expert who can explain it and break it down even further and make it simple for us, hopefully.
Right. Oh, before we wrap it up, I did want to say, guys, if you're listening in high school, undergrad or grad school, and you feel like you have some questions you might want to ask us about any topic, it could be one that we've talked about already or one that we haven't. If there's something that you feel that you want us to talk about that may help you in school or in the classroom or whatever, like leave a comment, hit us up in the email, and we'll respond to you. If you leave a comment, we'll answer you quickly if you leave an email. But yeah, because this whole thing is about education. So if any of you guys are in school or just want to know something about forensics related to the episode or not, leave a comment, hit us up, man. We're always here to talk. We're definitely friendly, so that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And Julian studied from John Jay University in New York. I was in Pace in New York, and I'm going to Rutgers. So even if you need more information about the schools and different courses that are offered by the school, and if you're confused what to choose and which school to opt for, we will not be biased. We'll give you true opinions from our experience.
Fair enough.
Because the Julian will try to pull you guys for John Jay. I will not do that.
I'm gonna try to be biased. It's hard. Have a good time.
Yeah, but please just let us know any help we could, any questions that we could answer. We're always here. And I hope you guys listen to our episodes.
Hopefully, that'll be nice.
Hopefully, yeah.
Well,
and spread the word.
Amen. Please, just tell you, whatever. But that seems like, I'm happy. Are you happy? That seems like a wrap.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very happy.
We gave the people like a nice little intro into toxicology.
Yeah, we did.
So, I hope you guys benefited off this knowledge. I hope you guys became a little bit smarter. And we'll be back next week to thrill you guys with some more forensic concepts.
Yes. Actually, next week's they're also pretty interesting. So please stay tuned. We will be back. Our duo will be back. Before we wrap up, do not forget to please share,
like, and subscribe.
Yeah, right, make him do that every time.
This sounds funny.
Yeah. And please leave comments below if you have any questions. And if you were not able to answer anything properly through this episode, always, good, bad criticism, please just let us know. We'll do our best to make it right. And we'll do our best to break it down. And hopefully we all see you in some time. Such a pleasure, guys.
All right, everybody. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Peace.